I'm our Director of Recruitment Programs from the Office of Admissions. And with me today we have Karen Hoffman, our Provost and alumna.
Good morning.
So just to give you a brief outline, we're going to go through the graduation show today, but before doing so, I thought it'd be helpful for you all to kind of understand what we're looking at today and how our grad show came about, and also why we're streaming live today from the Pasadena Convention Center. So, Karen, maybe you can help address the audience.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure being here today. Thank you, everybody, for being on Facebook Live for this session of our grad show. Like Tim said, I'm the new provost here at ArtCenter College of Design. I'm also an alumni from 1997 in product design, so it's really quite a game change to have our grad show in the convention center here in Pasadena. This really came about by a few different things. We've been growing a lot, and some of you that have been following the college know that we have 2 campuses now, both in our hillside, up in the hills above the Rose Bowl, and also in downtown Pasadena at our South Campus, which has grown significantly in the last couple of years. What we've noticed over the last 2 or 3 years is that now that we have 2 campuses, the grad show has been split up. And so it's been a bit of a challenge for visitors and recruiters from all the different industries that come and want to see all the students' work, to see all of the work at both campuses. So we had an idea, we've been talking about it for a while, and we had a specific project where students gave feedback into what grad show could look like in the future. And the students that we really listened to on this were all saying, hey, we're all interdisciplinary now, we're not in different majors, and by the way, we would love to be a new roof. So we tried it. We piloted it this summer. We have 110 graduates from different majors, and we took a shot of setting up the grad show here at the convention center. So this is the first time ever. Yesterday we had a pretty amazing day. We had a day filled with industry of recruiters. We had over 300 people here from the industry looking at the students' work, having conversations about potential job opportunities. We had a lot of our alumni come back, and I think we had close to 1,000 people here from opening to the closing yesterday. So what you'll see today is our first ever grad show at the convention center. So I think we could take a look around.
So we're gonna go by department. We're gonna start with undergraduate graphic design and just make our way through the immersive space here. But how large is the space here? It's just
We're about 28,000 square foot space.
So pretty big space and a
we
lot of
filled
work.
it.
Yeah. And so bear with us as we make our way through and take a look at a lot of the work and kind of talk to, not specifically to the work, but more so about the department and some of the things you can expect from those departments as well. So follow us through. So again, the first department on our stop today, part of grad show, we're going to take a look at work from our undergraduate graphic design. And so you can see here there's a lot of work on display. Our graphic design department is really for individuals who are passionate about typography, they're curious about exploring the use of typography, but they're also interested in things just beyond traditional print. They're also interested in other areas such as transmedia, environmental graphics, of course branding, graphics packaging as well. And so there's a lot of different areas that our students can choose from as they decide to focus in within the department and all the resources that graphic design offers. I'll also say that our department in graphic design here at ArtCenter, we also offer additional resources such as a typography center. We also have an archetype press. It's one of the largest here in California, so we're very lucky to have a resource such as that for our graphic design students as well. And so continue taking a look at some of the work here again, a variety of work highlighting all the various emphasis areas for our students to focus. Again, traditional print, transmedia, graphics packaging, environmental graphics, motion graphics as well. And I'll remind everyone a few times, for any of you who are local and might be around the area, tomorrow, Saturday, August 18th, is the actual graduation and the grad show that's open to the public. So if you're near the Pasadena area, not too far away, and you want to make your way to the Pasadena Convention Center, you can check out the public grad show from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday, August 18th. just wrapping up with a few last minute views of the undergraduate graphic design department, but now we'll make our way on over to illustration, which is a lot of work to take a look at. And so just to kind of give you some outline of our illustration department here at ArtCenter. For undergraduate illustration, we have a variety of tracks that our students can follow. The illustration industry is quite broad, and so we want to make sure that we offer our students a specific focus that they can have while they're here at ArtCenter. And so some of those areas for illustration would include illustration design, illustration, the fine art painting track. We also have an entertainment arts track for our students who are interested in pursuing careers in entertainment. We also have surface design through illustration, illustration motion, and also illustration design matters track as well. So here we are with our illustration department. We'll start on this way and just make our way through. Again, there's a lot of work here to take a look at, so we're just kind of peruse through the gallery here, and I'll explain some of the work as we get through it, some of the tracks that it's coming from. So again, you can see students are really taking their own initiative on their area of emphasis with help from the department, as they are able to really focus in on a variety of areas. So being illustration design, you could also do work from our entertainment arts track. So if students are interested, let's say, in working in the entertainment industry, maybe you want to work in roles such as storyboard artists, maybe art directors, visual development artists, the big one. We do have a program for you within illustration that will allow you to kind of focus your emphasis as an illustrator. I would say that our illustration department really is based in providing students with an outlet to become storytellers.
And something in the surface design track, in fact, this is an example of somebody who studied surface design. Within the product design department here, we've started a wearables and soft goods track as well. So anything head to toe, whether it be footwear, apparel, equipment. Also, our crossover into surface design is anything that's on interiors, textiles. So those two departments are working together to develop some really exciting new curriculum. This also includes an emphasis in color material design as well. We have a lot of students that are really interested in really understanding how to use the design process, leveraging color materials as a differentiator in their work. I think some of the entertainment arts work is actually down in this area.
A lot of entertainment arts work from the illustration department. So we're starting to see some of that. You can see some of it here. Again, anyone interested in pursuing our illustration program but wants to have an emphasis within the entertainment world, they would be most interested in our entertainment arts track. Again, for those who are possibly considering going into the industry in roles such as visual development artists, storyboard artists, art directors, you can see that the work here is highlighting those particular roles within the industry. Some of you may also have interest in our entertainment design program. Today, unfortunately, we don't have entertainment design, any of our tracks, concept animation, or newly game design on view. We don't have graduates for the summer term, so we encourage you to check in with us for the fall. We'll definitely have graduates from our entertainment design department specifically. So you can see a variation of work between what's offered in our illustration, the entertainment arts track, and also those from the tracks through the entertainment design department itself. Again, even within the illustration department, the thing that really connects the connective tissue between all of the various tracks and what the illustration program highlights is that we really want to make sure that we're providing our students with an outlet to be storytellers and to incorporate that into the work that they're producing as illustrators as well. So that pretty much wraps it up for illustration. We're now going to head on over and check out work from fine art, photography and imaging, and our film department. So if you make your way this way, as we make our way on over to that portion of the grad show, just to highlight for our fine art department, I would say that our fine art department really is meant for students who have an interest in becoming professional exhibiting artists. They want to be professional practicing exhibiting artists, really have an opportunity to dive into multiple mediums. So they can do drawing, illustration, film, photography. They can also focus in sculpture, installation, mixed media. And so that's really the basis for fine art. And then photo, now we're here at photo, photography and imaging. Notice it's photography and imaging. We want our students to understand that here at ArtCenter it really is about not only just being a photographer, but also being an image maker. Having our students understand that you're in control of the images that you're crafting and the story that you're telling. And so you can see from our students here from photography and imaging that they're doing just that. Really allowing them to go into either two realms, I would say, either the commercial route or also if they want to be a photographer, but more from a fine art perspective as well, that's possible. But the work here you can see is definitely pushing in the realm of commercial photography.
So Tim, just, I don't know if you heard about it yesterday, but we had a lot of transportation design companies here, automotive companies that were looking at the transportation design department, and they were right across the way, and they came over and they saw this wonderful work with these two photographers, and I believe are having some conversations about how they could influence their industries and perhaps do some work for them. So that was a great, again, intersection between the disciplines that we're seeing a lot more of nowadays.
Yeah, and that's another thing too to mention is that our students within photography and imaging, they also have other areas, that they're focusing into. It might be automotive photography, it could be architectural photography, product and food photography, fashion photography. We have a variety of work here that highlights some of those other areas as well. So photography and imaging, and we'll continue with the conversation with fine art, as I already outlined the context for our fine art department here. So again, the fine art department here at ArtCenter is great for individuals who want to go off in the world as practicing artists at the gallery level. They want to exhibit locally, nationally, internationally. Maybe they want to go off as arts educators as well. But again, it's not limiting our students, it's actually providing them with a slew of options to choose from. They don't have to necessarily focus, but we really encourage our students to think critically in our fine art department, taking theory courses, but also learning how to step out of their comfort zone and again, focus in other mediums that maybe they weren't used to. We have a lot of our students who come in thinking they want to focus in one particular area, and they end up exploring the use of maybe sculpture, or they start doing film and experimental media, and that's where they start pushing the direction of their work. And so we want our students to have that freedom and flexibility within the fine art department as well. So now we're going to make our way over and check out some of the work from our undergraduate film department as well.
And grad film.
And grad film.
So the students are in here right now, so most of their monitors are turned off, but you can see there's a lot of personality that's been displayed here, and we have a reel that is displaying all the students' work.
Something to note about our film department here at ArtCenter is that we really believe, and this could be said with any of our departments here, is that we want to provide our students with a technical skill set, but also a professional application. And so with our faculty here, you're learning directly from faculty who are working in those industries. So as an example with film, in our film department, your faculty members are also working concurrently in the film industry, and bringing that knowledge and expertise into the classroom. We allow our students to then focus within a variety of areas. So directing, cinematography, producing if they choose, to really focus the program and having our students become storytellers through film. And again, I mentioned I would bring it up a few times, so I want to do it again. If you're local to the area here in Pasadena and you want to visit, see more of the film work or any of the work that we've currently have on display, you can check us out tomorrow for the public graduation show viewing from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. here at the Pasadena Convention Center Hall, Exhibit Hall B. So the next department on our stop, we're going to make our way on over to undergraduate transportation design, talk with one of our students, one of our graduating students in transportation design, and hear a little bit more about his project, his history here at ArtCenter, and what he has plans after. One thing I'll say about transportation design at ArtCenter, it is one of our industrial design programs here. We really believe in providing our students with a curriculum that allows them to really focus in on not only designing vehicles for today, but really vehicles for tomorrow. So forward-thinking design. Majority of our students are focused in vehicular design, but they're also looking at interiors, exteriors, and other means of transportation as well. So next on our stop, we'll speak with one of our current students who's just about to graduate tomorrow, Albert Soto, and he's going to talk to us a little bit more in depth about his projects, and we'll ask him a few questions about his time here at ArtCenter. So welcome, Albert. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
So maybe you can tell us a little bit as we start things off. What was your journey to ArtCenter? What put ArtCenter on your radar?
Well, when I remember, like 8 years old, I'm from San Diego. I grew up in the border with Tijuana. So spending more than 3 hours trying to cross, all you see is cars, right?
Yeah.
And you get to love them and hate them. And between that and the passion I have for drawing dinosaurs and Pokemon, I start sketching cars. Like, I don't like that car, I will do something new. And that I kept that passion all the way on to college. In college is when I decided I want to build cars. So I was going for mechanical engineering, and after 3 years I decided that I just don't want to do math, I just want to design cars. So I looked for the school. I made my way to ArtCenter at night, the program that helps you build your portfolio. Mm-hmm. And that's when I decided that I really want to do this, and I made it after 5 years. I'm here finally.
Great.
Graduating.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about, we'll talk about your project in just a second, but I'm also curious, what was some of your experience here at ArtCenter? Internships is obviously a big part of an ArtCenter student's career here, and so maybe you can highlight some of the internship opportunities that you've had.
Sure, yeah. ArtCenter is known because of the instructors. Like, they give you a lot of exposure to the industry, but also the companies that come and sponsor classes. Like this project here, it was a sponsored class by BYD, and from 12 students that were in the class, I was one of the 3 chosen to go to an internship in Shenzhen, China. And I spent 3 months there in China working in production cars, and actually having the experience of working in a company. I worked both exterior and interiors, and it was a really great experience finding another country and just having the experience to work with real designers in a real world.
And so you're graduating tomorrow, which is very exciting. Do you already have plans or ideas on what you want to do post-graduation? Anything on your agenda?
Well, hopefully I get chosen by a company that offers me a job, and I will look at offers and go from there. Well, exactly after that, I'm just taking a break.
Great. Well deserved.
Yeah.
Deserved. Well, thank you, Albert, for being with us today, and we're going to continue on our way through the graduation show here, looking at additional work from our transportation design department. So as you can see, our students are focused not just in providing the visual displays through rendering, but also they're doing hands-on model making as well. So you can see a variety of those examples exhibited here in the transportation gallery. One of the things that the department emphasizes through the curriculum and instructing our students is that we really want our students, again, to be mindful of the future and forward-thinking design. And so understanding that what you design today is irrelevant tomorrow, and so really thinking about what transportation design looks like 20, 50 years from now. And so that's why when you take a look at some of the designs on display today, it's not going to look like something you would typically see on the road today, but more so something you would see on the road, in the years to come.
And ArtCenter is known to have really deep industry engagement. We have a long history with sponsored projects, so you'll see a lot of the automotive brands in here. Again, they're from internships, sometimes sponsored projects. We've been blessed to have a partnership with Hyundai Kia. We have an innovation lab where we're looking at the future of AR and VR and emerging technologies and how that's going to affect design.
And also allowing us to collaborate also like with our interaction design.
Yeah. So once again, a lot of intersections between the disciplines. And something that's also emerging within transportation design is other forms, such as boats and yachts. So this is one example of something that doesn't necessarily have four wheels, but is very important to consider when it comes to transportation and mobility.
So that does it for transportation design. We have a few more stops on our tour today. We're going to head on over to undergraduate environmental design and talk about some of the student projects there. Our environmental design program is really highlighting a spatial experience from start to finish, and so there's a variety of examples that you probably come in contact with in your day-to-day, and so we're going to see some of those examples that our students have put together against a mix of furniture, spatial experience, and model design as well. So come on through.
Things that this department does is they have their senior project is to actually design the space, since they are spatial. So what you'll see in here is something very different as opposed to the other majors, where each of the 6 students and graduates in here curated an entire experience. So the theme of ice happened to be the driver for this one.
And you can see that theme exhibited in all of the various details here, from the lighting to the color selection as well. Some examples of models, architectural models. With environmental design, if you're interested in aspects of architecture, interior design, you kind of want to put all of those things together, that's what you would get through environmental design. It's not an architecture program, it's a Bachelor of Science program in environmental design, but really focused on that spatial experience. But again, I think a really great program for those who are interested in those various intersections of architecture, interior design, spatial design, etc. Also, if you're interested in looking at lighting, furniture design as it pertains to that space, you can see those examples exhibited in the models as well. Couple more projects. There's a really great one in the corner here that I want everyone to take a look at. So again, as I mentioned, through environmental design, also another focus or feature would be being able to look at furniture design as well. So you can see that the student here is designing a seat for both the owner and the pet as well. So for those of us who have our furry friends in our lives, you could have something like this as well.
It's definitely a trend at ArtCenter. A lot of pet projects.
Yeah, I think the illustration department, the surface design track,
did a whole project
whole surface project
for dog beds and dog collars and accessories, and cats too.
So that wraps up environmental design. We're going to head on over to product design. And as we make our way on over, I'll give the honor to Karen, also being one of our product design alumni, to talk to us a little bit about product design before we make our way in and kind of give an outline.
And I'm still retaining the chair of product design role while we're searching for the next chair of product design as I stepped into the provost role. So welcome to this area where we have a lot of diversity. Some of our students are part of the Design Matters program here, which is our social innovation emphasis. We have students that are focused on the digital aspects of UX and UI. And like I said earlier, we have a emerging wearables and soft goods program. So we have students that are focused on footwear and apparel and things like that. I think we have one particular student over here, David Hollow, who's going to talk a little bit about his experience in the department and his work as well. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Karen. Hi.
Welcome. So, thanks for joining us today after a big day yesterday. I think we want to hear a little bit about your journey to Art Center and some of the experiences you had while you're here.
Yeah, absolutely. Where should we begin? Come on in.
Yeah, so it'd be great to hear a little bit about kind of what brought you to Art Center. All students here have a different journey that brought them here, some a little longer than others. So it'd be great to start off our conversation kind of understanding what was your specific journey to Art Center.
Right. It started by my parents, obviously. My dad is a scientist, a physicist, and my mom is an interior architect. So I was exposed to both science and design in my household. And I wanted to combine my passions to both sciences and design. So initially I was thinking architecture, but then I realized there's too much politics. So instead I ended up doing product design, which I think was the best choice I ever could have made. I knew about ArtCenter since I was 11, actually. It's been my dream school. So it's fantastic to actually be here and
One day away from graduation. Yeah.
precisely, yeah, hopefully. So yeah.
And so how about, before we talk about your projects, you have some beautiful projects are on display. Also, maybe if you could tell us a little bit about what has been your experience at Art Center through internship opportunities as well. I know you've been able to have an impressive list of internship opportunities as well.
I mean, this is probably one of the most amazing things about ArtCenter is that you never know where you'll end up. So I was interning, or I got a fellowship position with Dahlberg Design in New York City, and I had the chance to work on a project for the Gates Foundation, actually. And you wouldn't think that traditional product design would suit that strategy and sort of research and I guess ethnographic research role, but the skills that we learn can be applied to basically anything, which is the beauty of this program.
And how about you tell us a little bit more detail about the projects that you have on display here
For
today?
sure, yeah. So I have 3 of my favorite projects that I worked on, and I really like big problems. Wicked problems. The more gnarly and difficult and challenging something is, the more motivated I become. So the first one deals with air pollution, and I'm proposing a seamless system that replaces masks that have sort of a negative stigma about them with wearables that seamlessly integrate into your everyday carry. A sensor that actually tracks air pollution levels and your personal exposure to pollutants. Because right now we just have raw data citywide, but you don't really know what you're being exposed to on a daily basis. So this is what I call AirSphere. The second project that I have on display was inspired by my research trips to Africa and Southeast Asia, where we saw a lot of the streets covered in waste. The problem is that unless you go in and you start manually picking up the waste, it will remain there and it will start degrading and polluting the environment. So I'm proposing these really simple open source ready available tools for people to actually start collecting waste and turn it into economic opportunities, either in the form of raw materials that they can sell for further processing or manufacturing, or by actually designing and making their own products, which then they can sell locally. So it's basically about creating these local circular economies cheaply. And then the last project that I have on display was actually for ArtCenter's materials library called the Simtel. And it's a fantastic resource that we have. Right now it's more of a reference library, and we are trying to turn it into something where students can come to become inspired and discover new things to further push their projects and innovate. So right now what you see is one of the exhibitions of a cutting-edge shoe that we cut apart just to showcase how it's being made, what sort of materials were used, how are they using it strategically, so that students can reference it and understand what goes into the making of a product like this. We also have examples of biomimicry strategies. So nature, over millions of years came up with amazing things, like the color of the butterfly, which is not pigment-based. It actually reflects light in a certain way, and that gives it that iridescent quality. But where it becomes really cool is the digital database that we are building, where you can simply just read in the material, and up comes all the information that you could need to actually make an informed decision about materials and conduct deep material research. So it's no longer just about, oh, it looks cool, or it feels nice, but I don't really know what it is. You can look at it, touch it, feel it, and then know exactly what it is and how you could apply it to your project. So this is Simtel.
Great. And for this project specifically, has this been a partnership with the college that you've been able to integrate now and something that will hopefully go live?
Hopefully, yeah, exactly. So it started out as an independent study, just based on my personal experience with aerosphere, actually, where I had to compare 30 materials, and it took me 13 hours to find all the information online. So I started working with the same sales director, Marshall Hamachi, and through a series of independent studies and work studies, we came up with this entire system, including the furniture itself that was custom designed for this space. And we are, hoping to develop this and implement this on a full scale at the school.
And I can confirm that.
Awesome.
I mean, this is a great example. Thank you, David. It's a great example of how our students can really make impact. So not just on the industries that we're working with, not just to develop their own personal portfolio and their voice, but really seriously have a project that could actually give back to ArtCenter and elevate our innovation.
And it's great how the project came about through your own personal trial and error, understanding, hey, this isn't working, we can do it better, right? Which is basis of product design anyway. And so I think it's amazing that now ArtCenter will have that living on.
Yep.
We're not letting you go yet.
And graduation's tomorrow, a day away. Do you have plans post-graduation? Any hopes?
I think we just discussed it.
Yeah.
Again, I can confirm.
Yeah.
But I'm open to anything. But right now, I don't like to leave things half finished. So this is my priority.
All right. Well, thanks again, David.
Thank you very much for
Appreciate it.
coming by.
Thank you,
Appreciate
David.
it.
We're going to continue making our way through the product design grad show portion today.
Yeah, I can highlight just a couple more
Sure.
areas of emphasis that you're seeing here. I mentioned earlier about our budding footwear area of wearables and soft goods. One of our graduates, Juno Park, has committed himself to that industry, and in fact is going to be joining the Adidas team in Germany after he graduates. On the flip side, we have designers in here who really appreciate the craft of design. This particular student, Hiroshi, has done a lot of work in ceramics and lighting, and his senior project in leather goods, and a way to combine both industrial design processes and the craft to come up with some beautiful experiences that people can enjoy. Charlie Hodges here is our valedictorian this semester, so he will be speaking at tomorrow's graduation as well. And this particular project came out of a sponsored project by Mattel and the Barbie Dream House. He reimagined what a dream house could be for kids. This has earned a gold award with IDSA organization, the IDEA Awards, and he'll be going to New Orleans at the end of September to accept an award for the work that he's done. So you can see a lot of variety in this room, a lot of different areas of exploration. And we've been really fortunate to not only have a color material lab, a digital immersion lab, we also have a sewing lab. Sewing lab has enabled us to have students explore soft goods. This particular student has a passion for equipment and backpacks, and you'll see some of the work that he's done, all handcrafted by himself with the help of the faculty here at ArtCenter.
So that about does it for product design. We just have one more stop on our way before we wrap things up. So we're going to make our way on over and check out some examples of work from students graduating from our interaction design department as well as advertising. And so unfortunately the screens aren't on again. If you want to see more of the work, obviously tomorrow would be a great opportunity if you're local. But this is from interaction design. Again, I apologize you're not able to see some of the actual interactive work on display, but this is from our graduating student, Chase Morrison, who's graduating from the interaction design department this weekend. So these are some of the things he had been working on. But let's make our way on over here to this part of the gallery. This is emphasizing work from our advertising department. And so advertising was actually ArtCenter's very first major back in 1930. We were founded by Edward Tink Adams, an advertising professional. And so, we're now in our 88-year history. Advertising remains our eldest department here. And I would say it's also among the rest of the departments as well have had to change with the times. But considering advertising and where we're at today as a society and how social media influences everything that we do, campaigns, it's not just about traditional print advertising anymore, but really how everything is connected through that storytelling as well. So providing our students with opportunities to go off into the industry as storytellers, as creative directors, art directors, copywriters, and editors, So this is a whole display of a project that one of our advertising students had worked on as well, highlighting Spirit Airlines.
So Tim, if you're good, we have actually a film student that just arrived this morning, Joel Bryant, who can talk a little bit about his experience.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
The great thing about doing the live stream, you just have things that just come up on the spot, and I love that.
So this is Joel Bryant.
Hey, how's it going?
So we're here at Grad Show today, going through talking about all the departments, and so thanks for being with us. Maybe you can talk to us a little bit about what was your journey to ArtCenter? What got you interested in ArtCenter, or even just film in general? What brought you here?
Yeah. Well, I'm from Pasadena originally, but I started studying film when I went to school in Colorado. I was there for 2 years. Originally going there to walk on the football team, didn't end up playing, but took a couple film classes, and I kind of got a passion for storytelling, and I moved back to LA, started working in the industry for a few years, and made a few connects, but I felt like I needed a space to come and really make, work of my own. So ArtCenter kind of seemed like a perfect place. I was living in Pasadena at home still, a few minutes away, so it just all kind of worked out, and ended up here, and everything fell in place.
And so graduation's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Congrats. Do you have any plans post-graduation coming up? Anything that's on the horizon?
Well, tomorrow's actually my birthday.
Okay.
Very
Well,
excited.
happy early birthday.
Wow,
Thank
what
Yeah.
an epic day.
Yeah. Appreciate it. But currently I'm working on a script for a feature film. I've been working on it with a co-writer for the past half year or so, and we have a short film that's sort of a scene from that. So the plan is to shoot that in the next month or so, and get into festivals and use that as a pitch piece for the feature. But in the meantime, I'm just going to be working as an editor, most likely freelance.
Great.
I think you had a pretty interesting internship along the way here.
Yeah, I
Tell us
did.
about that.
I worked at Warner Brothers for about a year and a half on the Justice League movie. I was in the editorial department there.
Very cool.
And it was an interesting experience. Got to be on $300 million movie. So it was,
Were you a
amazing.
comic fan going into it, or not so much?
I wouldn't say so much a comic fan. I was a big Batman fan,
Yeah.
like casual comic
Yeah.
fan, just the culture of it, from the TV shows and the other movies. So yeah, it was definitely that intrigue, absolutely.
And working with one of our
With Zach.
With Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
ArtCenter alum.
Yeah.
So once again,
Fun time.
I mean, the beauty of ArtCenter is that our alumni love to come back. They love to work with current students and help them develop their careers. What was it like working with Zach?
It was a fun time.
Yeah.
It was a fun time. It was definitely a interesting place being on the Warner Brothers lot and just all the activity there. So I had a blast.
I think you're going to have a heck of a career ahead of you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thanks
Hopefully.
again for being with us.
Thank you.
Take
So
care.
congratulations to you.
Appreciate
Happy,
it. Have a good
early
one.
birthday.
Happy
See ya.
birthday and happy graduation.
Thank you.
So that wraps up the grad show tour that we did for you today. I think we wanted to spend just the next few minutes and see if there's any questions that you all have for us. I'm going to live on the spot see if any questions are coming through now on the Facebook feed. Give me just a second. As I go through that, maybe Karen, a question for you that I'll ask. You once participated in grad show many years back.
A few years ago.
Yeah. How has grad show evolved, and how is this different from your experience?
Well, I think over the last couple of decades, we've seen just how expansive art and design has become. So our grad show at the time, we were all together on our Hillside campus. It was a very different kind of experience. We didn't have the technology, we didn't have the media, we didn't have a lot of the tools that our artists and designers have today. The spirit was still there. We really, it's been the legacy at ArtCenter that all the graduates that came through have a show. I had 2 senior projects. I had one that was focused on redefining the future of the school bus, where I partnered with a transportation designer. And at that time, if some of you remember, the new Volkswagen Beetle was coming out, Concept 1, and I was interested in creating an experience around picnicking. So I created a picnic basket that fit in with the Concept 1. So those were my 2 big projects for my grad show, which feels like a very distant memory sometimes.
So I went ahead and was on Facebook and looking at some of the questions. A lot of congratulations to our students. A lot of fans for Albert. I think he had family tuning in, so congrats to Albert as well.
Right.
There was a question someone wanted to clarify if we could maybe reiterate why we're here at the convention center today.
Sure. So just to to go full circle here, ArtCenter College of Design has really expanded over the last few years. We have amazing campuses both on Hillside and at South Campus. And the last couple of years when we've had grad show, we've had a lot of visitors and we've had a lot of industry and recruiters that want to see all of the work, yet they can't make it to both campuses. And so we've also seen the intersections of all the different disciplines and all these companies that come, whether they're Google or they're Nike or they're Amazon or they're Hyundai or they're Volkswagen, they all want to see different disciplines because they're hiring for that.
Sure.
It's not just a one track anymore. So this gives us a chance to have all the disciplines under one roof, a chance to experience all of the wonderful work that our students do without having to be hindered by distance and separation. So this was our first pilot. We've gotten a lot of great feedback, especially yesterday. We may just see you again here in Pasadena in December.
And of course tomorrow, if you're local, I'll say it the third and last time, if you're local to the Pasadena area, even if you have to drive a little bit, it's really an experience to come down here tomorrow between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. August 18th. The graduation show is open to the public tomorrow from 1 to 5 p.m. So get down here, you can take a look at the work. There'll be students here as well. The graduates will already graduate in the morning, so they may be on hand as well to talk to you a little bit more in depth about their projects as well. And since there were no other questions, just in wrapping up, I'd like to add, for any of you tuning in who might be interested in pursuing any of our programs here at ArtCenter, and you want us to connect with you and figure out what are your next steps. Even if you don't have work to show at the moment, it's always great to connect with us in admissions. That way we can sit down with you and kind of walk you through the process. If you do have work, let you know where you're at, what additional resources you might want to look at, in building a portfolio to one of our specific specialized programs here at ArtCenter, for either the undergrad or the graduate programs as well. We highly encourage you to connect with us in admissions. Oftentimes we hear that prospects are connecting with individuals who used to go to ArtCenter, or they knew somebody or a family member, and they get all this information and ends up becoming the wrong information. So the best people to connect with are those of us in admissions. That way we provide you with the most up-to-date information. We in admissions meet with the department chairs on a weekly basis. We review portfolios, so we're up to speed on what they're looking for, what they want to see more of in a portfolio, and what they want to see less of. And so we can provide you with that feedback as well as it pertains to your specific aspirations. So that's all for me. Anything else, Karen?
Well, I think ArtCenter College of Design, our mission statement is about learning to create, influencing change. So we're all about creating change. And those of you who are interested in wanting to take this journey with us, again, we'd love to have you meet with Tim and some of the other counselors to check into what your pathway could be here at ArtCenter. So thanks so much for joining us today on our tour of our grad show at the Convention Center.
Great. Thank you so much.